I still got. Listen, we are live. We are live. All I have to do is check. If this is y'all first time with me, y'all know I am a one woman show. So I have to check to make sure that I am live before I start talking because I don't want to just be talking to nothing. There I go, y'all. I can hear myself. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another day of getting to self-actualization. What day are we on? I believe this is day 24, right? This is day 24 of a 28-day series. And this series, I can honestly say, has been amazing. It has been amazing. I believe we're on day 24. It might be 23 or 25. I don't know. Okay. Because I can't, I lost count. I will say I lost count. The holiday kind of threw me off, and then some other things threw me off. Kind of lost count. And then my assistant, Yasmin, ChatGPT, she does what I tell her. She does what I tell her to do. So if I tell her, Yasmin, today is day whatever, she gonna do it. She not gonna say, hey, Yashika, today is not this day. Today is really that day. So you know, she caters to my ego. Okay. But what I want to say is that if this is day 23, 24, 25, it doesn't matter because for this series right here, you do not have to watch the episodes in order to get what you need. All episodes are individual episodes. They're their own episodes, right? You can watch it and not feel like you are lost or that you got to go to another episode in order to feel caught up. However, it is highly advised to watch all 28 episodes, whether it be 27, 28, 29, something like that. It's going to be about 28 of them, okay? I'm going to have to go back and recount and make sure that I did do all of them and make sure that I did not skip any, and we'll go from there. But either way, you will get what you need from this series. So welcome to another day. If this is your first time here, I am Yashika Foster. I am a self-actualization and life strategist, and you are watching Hood Parenting on my little part of this YouTube world. Today, we are talking about stop asking for permission to be whole. WHOLE. Stop asking for permission to be whole. Listen, that's going to sting some people. Okay. That is going to sting some people. You need to know that you do not need a cosigner for your healing. Because if you're looking for a cosigner in order to say, okay, you good, you've done the work, or you're doing the work, or you're on the right track, or whatever, if you're looking for that, you're not going to get it. If you're looking for some things that you feel that you need, that is part of your healing journey, and you have to get it from someone else, then the odds are you're not going to get it. Now, could you possibly get it? Yes. But we only control ourselves and not anyone else. And so we're going to talk about this. All right. Who taught you to wait? Who taught you to wait to ask for permission, right? Many of us were raised in households and things like that where we were taught that we had to earn our worth. We had to earn it, okay? We had to earn our worth. Somebody told you if you were doing good. Someone confirmed you if you were growth, right? It's like, okay, well, you're doing well. You like I remember these things. Like I remember things that happened in my life that really, really made me feel like I needed validation as a young girl. One of the things I tell people, and I'm not going to get too heavy in this episode, is when you have certain traumas or you've been assaulted as a young person, as a young child, it makes you think about your worth in terms of, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Especially when someone tells you that this is what good girls do. So a lot of times you in that stage of your life will wrap up all that you are and all your worth trying to get validation and not understanding that it's wrong in all aspects. But unfortunately, we carry those things. If this is something that's occurred in your life, You carry these things with you continuous on life because you're looking for that validation. Because again, this is what good girls do. This is what good girls or good boys do, whomever. And so this is why it's important to recognize when you have trauma or something that has happened to you that has caused a significant effect on your life, something tragic, something awful. It's important to work through those things, because if not, it will shape a lot of things in your life, in the way you see yourself, especially in terms of looking for validation, looking for someone to confirm you, to say good job, or you could do better, or you're not doing good enough, whatever it is you need when you're doing what you need to do. Because nobody else, you don't have to, nobody else, no one else is responsible for giving you your validation and telling you your worth. You are. That's it. That's all. In order for us to earn our worth, not only were we waiting for someone else to confirm it, but we also needed relationships to prove our values. And this is especially true in marriages. This is especially true in things like that, right? Or relationships with your children, relationships with your parents, relationships with certain people. Sometimes people are in relationships just because it's, well, we still together, okay? We're still together. Or see, look what I did, or look how beautiful this look. When behind closed doors, it's a mess. But again, we're using that relationship to prove our value, because we believe that without that, then who are we? Because again, we would come from those families where, or we come from those environments where, in order to prove our worth, somebody had to give it to us. We had to earn it. And we did that by somebody telling it to us, or through a relationship, or from an external title or degree, right? To make us enough. And I know this is especially true in minority communities, Black families. It's like my experience and my understanding, or the things that I've been through is not enough. Like, even for me to sit here today as a life strategist or a self-actualization coach, I can sit here all day long and tell people that, listen, I've done the work. Here's the proof that I've done the work. Look at my accomplishments in terms of number values, or in terms of whatever, right? But a lot of times, right, people don't want to know anything about that. They want to know, well, do you have your degree? So then I have to go and dig out all my degrees and show you, okay, well, I do have these 3 degrees. I do have a master's in marriage and family counseling, or a bachelor's in psychology. Because, and then on top of that, sometimes we'll say it even before people ask us for it, because we want to be validated in that way, or we feel that those things validate us. So we do it to ourselves, and other people do it to us, because that's how our minds are wired sometimes. So when you're getting to self-actualization, that's something that you have to be mindful of. Are you looking for validation from other people? Do you feel like you need it in order to prove your worth? Something for you to think about. But self-actualization is not an internal validation. You don't need applause to be authentic. So you need to ask yourself, where in your life are you still performing for approval? Right? Y'all know how you perform for approval. You look over and see who's watching. You look over and see, well, did I do a good job? Was this right? Or did I do something wrong, or whatever? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Either you do it, or somebody you know do it, because you're trying to understand, am I doing the right thing? Right? You want to know if you're doing the right thing, but at the same time, you're looking for approval. How does it feel for you? Is what you need to ask yourself. Is it in alignment with you? Is it alignment with where you are trying to go? But before we get there, ask yourself another question. What part of you are still hiding to be accepted? What part of you is still hiding in order to be accepted? We all know sometimes, I used to tell people that I know that some people can't take all of me at one time. So sometimes I'll back off, right? I'll back up. When I show up sometimes to places, or when I do certain things, I'll say, well, people can't take all of me at one time. So I'll back off. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the room. So I'll back off a little bit and say, I'm gonna back off. I'm not gonna be too much, right? So I was shrinking, Shrinking myself. Why? Why? Because at the end of the day, me shrinking myself to fit into a room, I'm looking for their validation instead of me showing up as myself. And listen, if you don't can't deal with me, if you can't take me, then go ahead on. Get on out the room that I'm in. That's the way I see it. But again, as a young person, as a young adult, or as a young person, you're trying to get to that stage in your life. You're trying to figure out what you're doing in this world. But I'm telling you, you do not need to ask for permission to be whole. You don't need any of that. Wholeness is not a reward. It's something that you have that is your birthright. It's something that you are entitled to because it's your birthright. That is your birthright. Wholeness is a birthright. All of the things that we have, abundance, things like that, if you read the good book, it'll tell you those are your birthrights. You have the right to be happy. You have it's your birthright to be whole, to be healed, to be in abundance, to walk in purpose. Like those are your birthrights. We weren't put here just to be mundane and just go along, just kicking a can down the road. No, that's not why we were put here, right? Wholeness is not a reward. Wholeness is your birthright, not something you have to earn. You don't need their apologies to start healing. And this is what I was saying in the beginning of this. A lot of times we'll wait. If you're waiting for someone to apologize to you for something that they've done for you to be healed and whole, to get to your self-actualization, honey, you will be waiting a long time. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I remember when I was in the military, and I'm gonna make the story real fast. There was a point in my life where I was on a trail. And long story short, there was this command sergeant major that did something that forced my hand to put in my OCS packet. Okay. And in my mind, I felt so rejected. I felt so like it was so many things that I felt in that moment, right? I mean, because it was a lot. It was a lot. But things happened so fast with me going to OCS. It was almost as if God was telling me that's the route I was supposed to be on anyway. However, I don't tell this story, and I'll go deep into that story in a later episode. But I don't tell that story to talk about this. What I talk about is I remember when I confronted that sergeant major. He was still a sergeant major by the time I made the rank of captain. And by this time, we were in the country of Kuwait in one of the dining facilities there, which is where we eat at. And so he and I got into this heated discussion about what he had done to me. I think it had point. This was in 2013. So what he had done to me 6, 7 years prior. And at the time, I was a enlisted soldier, but now I was an officer. And so, if you know anything about the rank structure, now I rank him because of categories of the ranking. And in that moment, that sergeant major told me, he says, "Ma'am, I don't even remember." And it was like, wait a minute, you don't remember what you did to me? I mean, it was so, I mean, when I tell you that incident took the life out of me because it was like everything that I had done up until that moment was nothing. Because it took somebody that didn't know me to make a decision and put me somewhere and move me out because they were looking for somebody else, looking out for someone else. But for me, I took it as rejection. To me, I took it as, why did you do this to me? To me, I took it as why was I not enough? It was so many things that I took it personal. But when we ran into each other in Kuwait, it was in that moment that I realized that if I had been waiting on him to offer me an apology, then I would have been waiting a lifetime because he had no idea what he had even done. And so I'm glad that it was what I needed, the motivation I needed to get up off my tail, because people have been telling me for years, especially my then husband, Yashika, you need to be an officer. You have this education, you need to go to the other side. But in my mind, I needed to stay enlisted because why? To get to the top rank, which is a command sergeant major, I felt like I was validated. I felt like I would have achieved what needed to be achieved, the highest rank you could make as an enlisted soldier, right? But I had lost sight of the goal. The goal was get to the end with a certain amount of money that I could make on retirement. And so and when I put in my packet to go OCS, it happened so fast until it was like, well, wow, this happened so fast. I mean, people who even helped me put my packet together, who had already had school dates, I ended up going to school before them. So it was that kick that I needed. But I say that story because if I had waited on him to give me an apology before I could start healing, I would have wasted 6, 7, 8 years of my life, right? I would have waited. I would have waited because he had no idea what he had done. He had no idea the impact that that made on my life. And so I'm just lucky that I was able to use that as fuel instead of using it as weight to carry on my back as if to say I'm not good enough. And sometimes that's what we do because we feel that we're waiting on the person that hurt us to give us permission. They're not going to ever give it to you. Just like that sergeant major had no idea what he did to me. There are people like that. And here's the thing, even when you tell them what they've done, I've had conversations like this with people in my family. Even when you tell them what they've done and the impact that it made on you, they still won't get it. They still will try to say, well, the reason why. And it's like, I don't need a validation for this. I'm telling you how it affected me. And so I say this consistently because if you are looking for validation, if you are looking for apologies for anyone, you are not going to get it. Half the time they don't even know what they've done, or they don't want to know, or they don't care, or validating your they part what they've done to you negates what they feel that they've done. In other words, I was teaching a lesson. It was justified, right? You don't need their validation to pursue your purpose. So, what is your purpose in this life? When it talks about self-actualization, in order to be there, which is Maslow's fifth highest level, when it terms of Maslow's hierarchy of need, self-actualization, purpose, the reason for you being here, right? You do not need anybody's validation in order for you to pursue your purpose. All you need is your alignment. All you need is to be aligned with yourself. All you need is your validation. All you need is your acceptance. That's it. That's all. Just like when I would say there's times where I would walk into rooms and but all that did was take something from me because there was a part of me that I didn't show up for. I'm like, dang, I wish I had I could have, so here I am having this part of me because I don't want to be too much, but why? And I remember this was way back when I was in my 20s, still trying to figure out life, trying to figure out, well, maybe I'm too much. Okay. You don't need their understanding to live your truth. All you need is your understanding. Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Does my truth and what I'm doing aligns with my purpose? Does it align with the things that I need to heal from whatever I need to heal from, whatever things happen to me, whatever I feel like is part that might be holding me back? Okay. Whatever I feel like we might, but here's the thing, we don't always have to be in our healing journey. And that's what I need people to know. Healing is not forever. All it does, when I talk about healing at different stages, what I'm saying is that you get to a stage in your life, and I use this example always. What I was raised without a father, and I had to heal from that of trying to figure out why was I not chosen in that way. So there was a lot of things that I had to overcome. However, although I can talk about those things and I know that, oh my goodness, the things that came from that, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, this is why I am who I am and why I get to stand here. But there's parts of my life, for example, when my oldest son graduated from the military a couple of months ago, and I saw him walk, that was his grandfather, my father, the man who I was raised without. I saw walking across that stage. My father served as well. But in that moment, because he looked so much like them, I saw him. So in that moment, I literally grieved the fact that my father couldn't physically in the real, like I believe he's spiritually here, but in the real see my son do something like this because he's his oldest grandchild. He wasn't here by the time my son was born. I lost my father at 20. I had my son at 22. So what I'm saying to you is, so I didn't recognize that at this age, that was something that I had to grieve, right? I have healed from that. And it's always a journey where, okay, different stages of my life, introduces new things that I didn't know. So in that moment, I didn't know that I was going to be faced with that. But at the same time, I'm not unhealed from that. But at the same time, I had to endure and I had to recognize that that was a feeling that I had and accept it and grieve it and feel it. Be sad and proud at the same time. Sad that my father can't experience his grandson becoming a soldier, but at the same time proud because I know that who he is or who he was, my father, plays a part in who my son is, right? Because without him, there wouldn't be any of him. So all that is connected together. So at the same time, I was sad, I was grieving, but yet I was proud and I was happy all in one moment. Okay, so I need you to understand that just because we grieve certain areas in our lives, that doesn't mean we're always healing. We're always need to be healed. We're whole, right? It's just parts of us that are uncovered sometimes, like an onion, layer after layer after layer that you didn't know. The things that you need in your teens and 20s are not the same that you're going to need in your midlife or in your older life or in your senior citizen years. So you have to understand that your needs are different. Therefore, if your process is different, your grieving is different, the realization of certain things are different. And I hope that's understood. You just need to decide that you are enough, period. So today, practice this. Look in the mirror and say, I approve of me. I approve of me. I no longer shrink for comfort. I no longer wait for permission. I am whole. You say that thing to yourself, and I'm going to say it again. I approve of me. I no longer shrink for comfort. I no longer wait for permission. I am whole. You say those things to yourself, and you say it and you mean it. You write it down and you say it and you mean it, and you write it down and you say it and you mean it, and you keep on saying it until you mean it. All right? The cost of waiting for approval, this is what it costs you, and this is why you don't have to wait for anyone's approval. Every time you wait for outside permission, you delay your own liberation. You delay love, you delay your creativity, and you delay your peace. I said it again. You delay love, you delay your creativity, and you delay your peace. The life you desire is waiting for you to say yes to it, not them. Okay? All right? The only validation you need is yours. And when you claim that, everything shifts. So today, I want you to stop auditioning for roles in rooms that can't hold your truth. You're already enough, already worthy, and already whole. And you know that. So I need you to go out and conquer the world. This whole world is yours. I don't care what nobody tell you. If we can have who we have running this country, knowing what we know about laws and things like that, you can be anything you want to be in this world. And I laugh because I tell you, the more and more I live, the more and I see things, the more and more I really recognize, listen, you got to go out and take what's yours. You can't wait anybody to approve it. You can't wait on anybody to give it to you. You do things that you can sleep well at night doing, the things that you know that, okay, ethically, morally, religiously, however you live your life, whatever standards you live your life by, as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that I know that I've done the right thing, or I put my best foot forward, or I didn't harm anybody, or I didn't do anything that offended anybody, whatever you need, because everybody's mantra is different. Everybody's mantra is different. For me, I treat people how I want to be treated. I go about my life knowing, because I talk too much. I talk too much to be out here lying, cheating, stealing. I talk too much. I've been in total myself. So because of that, I just go about my life just doing, just saying and doing what I feel like I need to say and do in order for me that I can get away, that I can be okay with life and know that, you know what, I did what I need to do. I said what needed to be said. I didn't hurt anybody, and I walked in my truth. And that right there is in line with who I am. And that's how you get to self-actualization. And so I don't know who this is for, but y'all know it's time for me to go to the gym, because every day before I do these lives, except on Sunday, I'm on my way to the gym. And so this has been, listen, this has been amazing. I love these getting this series, getting to self-actualization. So as we are winding down, like I said, I don't know if we are on episode 24 or 25. It might be 23. I don't know. But I do know that this is a 28-day episode or series, and you do not have to watch all episodes in order for you to get what each episode delivers. And so, with that being said, if you are looking for a self-actualization coach or a life strategist, go ahead and book a consultation with me. Listen, the consultation is absolutely free. No obligation, no nothing. Just book a consultation and see. And I'm telling you something right now. When you see how I deliver, sprinkle a little bit of glitter and sunshine in your life, you'll be like, you know what? I didn't know I needed this in my life. I did not know that I needed this type of motivation in my life every day, right? Because I'm that coach. I am that coach. All right. So if not, then continue to watch me here on this here platform, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and listen. Tell me if I'm doing a good job, bad job. You don't want to hear nothing I got to say, whatever. Do a drive by, whatever, but show your girl some love, and I will catch you guys in the next interview, or in the next, what did I say, interview? Am I interviewing somebody? Why did I say interview? Somebody must be doing a job interview out there in a couple of days. Y'all know I'm spiritually inclined. Somebody must be doing a job interview out there in a couple of days. Or they must got an interview going on, or something that they got going on and they interviewing for. Because why did I say interview? Okay. Well, anyway, whoever that is out there, this message is for you. You don't need their approval. You do not need their approval. Okay, you enough. I'll catch you guys in the next live. Bye.